I really do love this music. Do they have a whole album? I know it's royalty free and it came with the Rode Caster Pro 2, but I dig it. Hey, welcome to FriYAY. It's Friday all day. Let me check my watch. What day is it? It is the 18th. Actually, do that. It's the 18th of August, 2023, and we're celebrating the last day of the week, as we always do. It's kind of a thing. If you're watching, we're happy to have you here. If you'd like to be able to ask us questions, that's really what the show is all about. So, I shall break it down for you. We are currently broadcasting on a number of channels. Yeah, we do that. They're all ours. Nobody else's. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Kick, and the platform formerly known as Twitter, X, which has had, and I was talking about it yesterday, a whole bunch of different versions of logos. I don't know which one I'm digging or not, but there's options that Elon Musk is sharing. So I'd be curious to know what you think. If you want to ask us questions, please do. That's how this happens. This is how the magic happens. If you are on TikTok, know that my wife is actually helping moderate. She is taking questions and putting them over into the chat because JD ain't in today. No, he's playing hooky. Like, with a legitimate reason, but he's not here, so we're going to give him a hard time. If you're wanting to listen to us while you're driving, this is important. Don't watch the screen. Don't have the screen open, which might mean you may not be watching us live. Now, if you're on TikTok, you can actually close the app and listen in the background. That's awesome. It's kind of I don't know if it's a bug or a feature. Either way, it works for me because you're not breaking the law while you're listening to us. And that's live streaming, so you're burning your data. But know this, you can actually subscribe to the Ask a Traffic Cop podcast replay event. Replay podcast? I don't know. It's Ask a Traffic Cop on all your social media or podcasting apps. You can actually download it after the show. It takes a while. Last night, I did all the work and then I didn't press publish. So it wasn't until like 6 a.m. this morning that I published the episode. It's available. Yesterday's is available today if you want to drive around listening to it. Anyway, that is the story. If you're on Twitter, or formerly known as Twitter, now X, know that you can't actually ask us anything. So go to trafficcop.ca and choose the episode for today, because you can do that. And I realized I forgot about Instagram. Instagram is like a second thought, an afterthought. It's not where I normally hang out. Well, that's not true. Actually, I think I spend more time there than I want to admit. My kids seem to think that there's more stupid people, and I mean that with love. Let me dig myself out of that hole. Instagram seems to have a lot of bloopery videos. Okay, hang on a second. This might get loud. Yep, it connects, and we're connected. Okay, there's a lot of silly videos. TikTok has great content, in my opinion. And maybe it's because it's curated to me, but there's a lot of what I want to see on there. I see the watch talk and content creators about creating content. And on Instagram, I see a lot of people. Why is my camera not working on Instagram? That doesn't work. There's something weird with this phone. It's literally not showing anything. Oh, there we go. We're back. Yeah, Instagram tends to give me a lot of dash cam footage. I got lots of dash cam video where people are smashing into stuff. And I find that entertaining and oddly job related. I find lots of content to comment on, but I don't enjoy the content the same way. Anyway, I'd be interested to know why Ryan, Thin White Line Interceptor, is on Instagram versus another platform, because you're currently the only one watching on this platform. This app broadcast is just for you. All right. Yeah, we have over 7,000 people on Instagram, but maybe they sleep in later. Who knows? We have the majority of people watching us on TikTok. And if you'd be so kind, please like, share, tap that screen till the finger goes numb type thing, because that helps other people find out about it. And we keep talking about this. We're thinking about doing an afternoon or evening event. Ask a Traffic Cop version. What time of day or night would be the best for you? That's what I want to know. All right, we're going to get into some stuff and things. We're going to start off by talking about what we talk about every day. Vision Zero enforcement team. So Vision Zero is the simple concept that we can reduce, or should aim to reduce serious injuries and death to zero, because that's the only acceptable number. No one should be getting killed or hurt on the road because of the choices made by other drivers. Simple as that. Collisions are avoidable entirely based on, people doing the right thing. And the minor fender benders, okay, they're going to happen. But collisions that lead to serious injury and death, totally preventable. We have officers who are spending time today in different divisions, specifically the Division 0 enforcement team. They are spending time in 23 Division and 53 Division. Those are the neighborhoods of Rexdale, Jamestown, Martin Grove, Lawrence Park, Young, Eglinton, Rosedale, Leaside, neighborhoods where real people live, work, and play and deserve to be safe. And you'd want to be safe too, because I imagine you have friends, family, colleagues, even people you don't like. You probably don't want bad things to happen to them. So people who are in those areas should be safe. To me, it's all logical. It just makes sense. I got PC Optimum just sent me a message on my watch. I'm thrilled. All right, let's see who's inside the room. First to the chat, 50 seconds into the broadcast, we have Akela Draconis with greetings and salutations. First on the board, we then have Zombie, who is here a minute and 6 seconds into the show, who lately has been coming in later. But we're glad you're here for the whole show. FriYAY has a whole different urgency. It's more important to be here. So Zombie, thank you for the hello. Akela says hello to my wife. Valves by the way, BTW, I don't know. Coming in from Twitch, who says, hey, what's up? Ryan, who's been a new regular with lots of stuff to say and do, says, I was once pulled over by a cop because I almost ran a red light. The cop gave me a brief lecture, but did not issue any ticket because I did not break the law. Is it a valid reason to pull over a driver for almost breaking a law, especially when you need to do observe laws being broken is simply to open your eyes? Hang on one second. I'm going to read you that part again. To pull over a driver for almost breaking a law, in brackets, especially when all you need to do to observe laws being broken is simply to open your eyes. Okay. Is it a valid reason to pull someone over? Yeah. Why were you so late to almost run the light? Narrowly braking just in time is a concern that something may be going on in your car. Maybe you're drunk. Maybe you're on your cell phone. Maybe you're not a licensed driver. Maybe maybe you're having a medical emergency. Why are you just last minute responding appropriately? It's absolutely a valid reason to pull someone over and investigate. But we can pull anybody over to check their license status, insurance status, sobriety, and of course their vehicle fitness and safety. So what you're saying is you gave that officer a clue that something wasn't right. It may have been just decision making, but at the end of the day, that's something that I would absolutely investigate each and every time I see it, given the opportunity. We have a question. And some people will say, why is Leo Wife asking so many questions? The explainer on that is that Leo Wife is my wife, who is helping me remotely by taking questions from TikTok and putting them over to YouTube. And that's so I can see them on screen, because I can't be everywhere all the time. We've got too many platforms. So can you change the song of your phone while driving if it's mounted to your dash? The simple answer is no, you can't. Using your phone for anything other than simply swiping to answer or pressing the button to hang up is use according to law. And it's not acceptable beyond that simple swipe or button press. And that is use and deserves a $615 ticket, 3 demerit points on your first conviction, 3-day suspension on your first conviction. Usually people will stop listening after I say $615 and go, what? Yeah, it's a serious offense. If you have integration, like on your, what is it called, CarPlay or Android Auto, use the screen. Use your integrated buttons on your steering wheel. That would be the safe and legal way to do it. Or if you have an iPhone or an Android, do the Hey Siri thing and then give it a direction to hit next song. Or I'm constantly asking it to pick out random songs dictated by my children. They wanted to hear Price Tag, so okay. And then it gives me the wrong songs by Mini Pops. And I'm like, not that one. And then try it again. And it's actually a distraction to have these conversations with Siri. But it is far safer than to touch your phone and, of course, break the law. Okay. Let's see here. It no longer. Oh, what is Akila Dracona saying? If no longer Twitter changes its logo a little, it'll look like the exit button. It's possible. I noticed also we're not retweeting anymore. Did you notice this? The button on Twitter no longer says retweet. It's repost, reshare, something. What is it? Now I don't even remember what it is. But I was thinking about this yesterday. I think it's repost. But let's find out. It is. Oh, come on. Yeah, repost. I didn't want to repost that, but I had to press the button to see what it said. Okay, yeah, so repost, it's a thing. And there's an app called, isn't it called Repost or Reshare? I don't know anymore. Okay. Yeah. Does a red light camera catch both sides of the road? Red light cameras generally catch the person approaching the line. So it's one direction, and if there's two red light cameras, it'll be one for either direction. So no, they don't do both sides of the road. They do have camera footage that is all lanes that they're aimed at, though. Yeah, they're single direction. Twitch is my private island, me and Grinch only. Is that true? There's only 2 people that watch on Twitch. We like being on all platforms. No, yeah, right now we have 2 people on Twitch. It's interesting. The majority of people on platforms other than TikTok are on YouTube, but it's nice. You have a different logo. You're special, and we're there because we can be, and hopefully we'll pick up more users as we go. But it's I wonder. Actually, I haven't looked at the stats recently to see what the replays are like, because you can actually, if you're watching on the VoiceOver Cop channel, it stores it, and the traffic services one doesn't. I think that's how it's working. In any case, we're always looking to expand our audience because we want to help people. That is the reason we're here. This is a show that is for you so that we can help you gain knowledge and understanding of what the laws are. Well, why do we want that? Well, we want to promote traffic safety, obviously, but we want you to avoid getting tickets. We want to avoid your insurance rates going up. And how does that really work? Well, if you know the law and you know the consequences, it's likely that you won't break the law. People might still take the information and say, I know better, I know whatever, I don't care. Well, that's on you then. You have the information, you choose not to use it, and you get a ticket. And then your license gets impacted and your insurance goes up, and that's not fun. However, if you can avoid all that, why wouldn't you? I know, it's wild and crazy, these thoughts that I share. Good morning to Emma, and actually Wayne and a whole bunch of folks that are coming in through the good old TikTok. Let me go back to a question, though, because I'm going to go down the squirrely road of nonsense, and then we won't get as many answers or questions answered. We covered that one. All right. What is the fine for deleting the DEF on a diesel? So you're looking at 2 potentials, and I can't give you a number because I'm not going to look it up right now. If you have an improper muffler, or is one thing, that's usually $110. But if you get into Environmental Protection Act violations, because if you're now not doing what's required in order to have a diesel vehicle approved for the road, you're looking at much more serious charges. The fact is, there's no reason to do it. And to say I need more power or efficiency, well, too bad. Don't drive a diesel if you don't like the conditions that you have to follow in order to have a diesel. Buy a vehicle that meets the standard and don't change it. Because when you change it, bad things happen. Aliens invade. That's about it. Flying saucers, you just can't break the rules. And if you choose to, well, whatever the consequence is, you own it. Can Toronto police stop me in Brampton? Toronto police are police officers sworn in the province of Ontario and technically can stop you anywhere in the province of Ontario, even though that's not where we spend our time. We're paid to be here. But if we're over there and we see something, absolutely we're going to act on it. And we can stop you. We can charge you. If we need to phone a friend so that they can issue the ticket to a court that's local to you, we can do that too. If it's more than a couple of jurisdictions away, then we are going to be, or if we're a couple of jurisdictions away. So if we're not in Peel, but we're the next one over, well, we're going to call someone in Peel or in that jurisdiction to write the ticket, and then we'll mark ourselves as witnesses to the event, so you aren't being forced to come all the way to Toronto to go to court. Let's see here. Oh, so Zombie says, I work out from 10 to 11, so I usually have music on. Today I'm working out with the show. Right on. Yeah, this is definitely motivational, treadmill, heavy duty weightlifting audio. Actually, I listen to audio books. I'm currently listening to a Gary Vee book, which is a couple years old. It's called Ask Gary Vee, which is funny because this is Ask a Traffic Cop. And I did not know of the existence of the Ask Gary Vee book at the time that I called it Ask a Traffic Cop. It just happened to be, it's funny. Let's see here. I can't, what is it Backer? Okay. Hello, officer. My license got suspended for non-payment fine and reinstated. Now got new license, but the issue date is a recent date. How about my past driving experience? Will it still count? Your issue date is for the card, not for your license. Yeah, they're not related. So your issue date was for the driver's license that you're holding in your hand and does not account for your driving record. Your experience and your driving record it doesn't go away unless you're a learner's permit person who gets kicked out of the licensing program, the graduated licensing program for multiple violations. Because if you get 3 convictions, you get kicked out and you do lose all your time and experience. Different situation than what you've got. Let's see here. Oh, this is a good question and a valid one. If there's an emergency, are you allowed to use your cell phone even if you're driving? I should qualify that not all emergencies are emergencies. I forgot to feed the dog. I got to call mom. I forgot to put the garbage out. I got to call my spouse to take it out. Those are not emergencies. However, if you're calling 911 for police, fire, or ambulance, those do qualify as emergencies, and you can use your phone even without a Bluetooth, holding it in your hand. But is it dangerous? Absolutely it is. Are you still responsible for whatever happens next? Absolutely you are. But you can certainly do it because we have a record of it. We can get your phone records if we had to verify where you were calling. We could do that. But chances are you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, which is calling 911 to report an emergency, drunk driver, reckless driver, collision on the road. Those are all legitimate reasons. We'd still prefer you use your Bluetooth or your speakerphone system and not put lives at risk. But sometimes you can't help yourself. Sometimes it's just absolutely necessary. Okay. Wow. Backer had asked a number of times, please don't spam. Spam's in the can, but not our chat. Please don't repeat the same question repeatedly. Repeatedly. It just clogs up the chat, makes life difficult for everybody, especially me and everybody. Okay. What do we got here? Is it legal to recline the passenger seat fully? You're no longer properly wearing your seatbelt when you're in a fully reclined position, and upon collision or impact, you can be propelled under your seatbelt and into the footwell of your vehicle, sustaining serious injuries. So could you be charged? Yes, you could for improper use of seatbelt or whatever the wording is for not wearing it properly. I don't recall. $110 fine if you're pulled over. Do people recline? Reclining to a degree is okay. But you have to be able to maintain what is considered proper. And I'd have to read the regulation to see where it is, but I know that it's not proper based on looking at it. But what the regulation says may be something where we have to articulate that in court. In any case, it's like putting your feet up on the dash. Is that proper? I've seen great videos on TikTok where the driver hits the brakes, the passenger's got their feet up on the dashboard, and the passenger promptly is sitting in the floorboard or the floor footwell. Obviously, that means that the seatbelt's not being effective when you're in that seating position, and I'd argue that that would be an improper use of the seatbelt, even though it is latched, but based on foot position, it's not safe. And never mind the fact that if you were actually in a collision, the trauma would be ridiculous. Those are areas that go smush, right? What do we have here? Big Jeff Fresh. Hello, sir. How are you? Good morning. Tiago says, coming in by YouTube, can I be charged under the Highway Traffic Act with impaired operation while operating an elevator under the influence? Well, the HTA deals with roads, and it does not deal with impaired operation. Those are criminal charges that deal with conveyances. I don't believe that your elevator qualifies as a vehicle. But yeah, I think you're okay. if you're operating an elevator by way of pressing the floor, no, I think you're okay. Maybe if you were an old school elevator operator with the crank and you had to, be responsible for other people, maybe no, it still wouldn't. Okay, interesting question though. First time being asked that, and I appreciate you. All right, okay, here's a good question. If I pay for the cops' coffee behind me in the drive-through, do they still have to pay? It's one of those funny things. We're not supposed to accept gifts or gratuities and things like that, or inducements, as I think the wording is, and for good reason. We don't want to appear to be giving anybody special treatment. Have we received free coffee before? Sure, we have. Everyone, I'm sure, has received a coffee as a thank you from somebody, whether it be a store owner, a person behind the cash, a member of the public. My practice is generally being to make a donation or pay for the next person and pay it forward. I make good money. I can afford to buy my coffee, and I appreciate the gesture. But sometimes it can be awkward, and sometimes it's awkward to argue about it. So sometimes we accept it. At the end of the day, what we do afterwards is going to be a judgment call in the situation. What can 6 demerit points do to a G2 driver? Well, let me show you something here, because I said I was going to do it, and I did it. Okay. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it as it gets done. Here we go. If you go to trafficcop.ca, you will be brought to this page. Oh, I can actually split the window here. You'll be brought to, that's not what I want. This is what I want. This page. Okay. And you can, I didn't update the traffic stream here. See, I told people to go to TikTok and I didn't update it. Anyway, long story short is you can go here, you can scroll down past all our socials to useful links. And there's a link for understanding demerit points. Now, of course, it creates a new tab, so I have to change what I'm sharing. But once we go onto this page, it explains what happens. So G2, what can 6 demerit points to a G2? I don't even understand the question anymore. But there's an explanation for what the, so 6 demerit points to a G2 driver. Well, you get a 6 points, you get a warning letter from anybody. And new drivers, 6 to 8 points would be sent, that you're already at your second warning letter. But you're not getting anything more serious than that yet. Mind you, 6 demerit points to a G2 driver is going to be a 30-day suspension. Second time, 90-day suspension. And because they get, where is it? It's for result. Yeah. So if you're a novice driver and committed an offense resulting in demerit points, you may also receive a letter of license suspension or cancellation under the Ontario Escalating Penalties Program. All drivers face penalties if they violate the laws. But the novice drivers can also receive these, and it's based on getting a ticket that carries. Here it is. Convicted of a. There we go. So convicted of a Highway Traffic Act offense that results in 4 or more demerit points, street racing or careless driving. 6 demerit points is careless driving, or would be the result of careless driving. And that means you're going to get a 30-day suspension the first time, a 90-day suspension the second time, and if it happens again, the bad day at the office is what I talked about a little while ago. You'll lose your license, and that's no fun. But why? Why would we escalate things like that? Because if you get 3 suspensions by way of 3 tickets that get you into 4 or more demerit points, you're probably doing something wrong. Just saying. Might be doing something wrong. Hey, if you're watching and you don't know who I am, my name is Sean Shapiro. I'm a police officer with the Toronto Police Service, and I talk about traffic safety, traffic law, and police stuff weekdays between 10 and 11, sometimes between 9 and 11:30. It depends. But we are talking about doing an afternoon or evening show because there's a lot of people who work and school and do stuff and things that prevents them from participating in this magical experience that we call Ask a Traffic Cop. And we're here for you. We want this to be something that is accessible. And yes, you can watch the replay on YouTube. And yes, you can watch or listen to it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or Google Podcasts or iHeartRadio, because we're on there. But if you want to actually get your questions answered, you've got some other, you have a lot of options. There's a ton of options. You can go on to trafficcop.ca. You can send me an email or a message through the form. And if you want, we can even talk about it on the air. That could be one way. Usually I just respond to your email. Lots of options. In any case, wherever you're listening to us, please like, follow, subscribe, share. If you're on TikTok, hit that button until your finger goes numb. At the end of the day, we want your help to have more people involved, because the more likes and shares, and it just helps us help more people. We don't get paid for this, but we do appreciate. Well, I get paid to be here, but the service, we don't get paid from our channels. We don't get. There's no creator fund. All right. Thin White Line Interceptor Ryan wants to or asks the following. He says, "What was the absolute worst excuse you've been given by a driver who was caught committing an offense?" That is a good question. The one that always comes to mind is I think a pretty standard, and I think it's given because people can relate to it, and that is, I got to poo. If someone says they've got to go to the bathroom, there's usually some sympathy there. However, I'm not that sympathetic. So, if you're driving a good clip above the limit, I pulled you over for a reason, and you're going to the bathroom isn't sufficient for me to give you a break. So I took his license, and we went to the closest washroom, and he used it, and he got his tickets when he came out. But some of these are just so good. So good. I had one person say, it's the second time, and actually this one ruined it for the whole world in terms of tickets from me. I had someone who was just a hair under stunt driving, or maybe they were stunt driving and they got a break and a reduction because it was their second day of work and they were late again, and the mascara was running and they were full of tears, and I still gave a ticket, and it was a serious ticket because at the time, I think they were 49 over, or maybe they got charged for 49 over. Anyway, long story short is they got a charge and they still fought it. They fought it even though I reduced it and didn't take their car and didn't, I was being nice. No more nice guy. I stopped giving breaks. That person ruined it for everybody. You give a reduction. I used to take, if it was like under 20 kilometers over, I'd reduce it to 15 over so there'd be no points. Yeah, those people were taking it to court too. No more nice guy. No more break. There's no reason to reduce a ticket. If you're going to get a break, go get it in court. Let the court be responsible for letting you get away with something, because people were still reducing in court. Anyway, that's my story. Let's see here. What's the fine? Oh, we talked about that. Do police officers check logbooks with NSC compliance, or is it just strictly MTO? We can check everything. We have also a commercial vehicle inspection team that goes out and looks for all these things. But each officer, I've never been a big truck inspector. I'm not a qualified truck inspector. If I saw something that was really out of the norm, I'd be phoning a friend. But making sure that the logbook, the circle check, all the daily log, those things I would check for. And if there was no entry, well, they get a ticket. Is good. I just got into this cold brew stuff at the Community Safety Days that was held on the 16th of August, a couple days ago, at the Tim Hortons located at 4211 Keel Street. VJ owns that one, and the Community Safety Day was a celebration of life, or the celebration of his wife's life, which sadly was cut short due to cancer 10 years ago. So it was her birthday celebration, and she was a big, contributor in terms of volunteerism in the community. Anyway, long story short is I had a Tim Hortons cold brew. I'd never had one before, and now I've had many. So that worked. I have a new thing I like. So my car got hit, and I am no fault. Damage around $4,000. Do I need to report to police? Yes, you do. $2,000 damage between both vehicles is the threshold before you are legally obligated to report to police. So you are absolutely needing to go to a collision reporting center if it's drivable, or call police if it's not. Now, I'm assuming if you're got hit and it's after the fact, you probably left the collision space. So going to a collision reporting center, there's two in the city for vehicles. There's one that's considered the north on Torrey York, and there's another one that is the east. If you go to tps.ca, there's a button for I got into a collision. It'll give you direction. If you're outside of the city, but in the province of Ontario, you can certainly contact your local police service to get more direction. But you are absolutely responsible for filing a report. Bad things happen if you don't. Okay. All right. I'm just seeing Kayla was responding about 15 minutes ago, responded to Tiago's elevator question. What is the fastest police car in the fleet? That's a good question. I don't know. It's not about what can go fastest. It's about the fact that nothing can drive faster than the police radio. And when we get all our friends involved, we catch people. But the deal is that we do have some Hemis, and those go quick. Not that I've driven one or been in. I've even foregone the opportunity. I chose not to try or sit inside. I just don't want to know how tight, because I don't fit in small cars, and I'm assuming it's a small car, even though it's an American machine. I was inside the Corvette with Carrie Schmidt at Honda Indy. That wasn't a good experience. I mean, it's a beautiful car, but it's not made for me. It is too tight. My head was sticking out from the roof. Do I have that picture available? Hang on a second. No, I'm not going to look for it now. But if you go to my Instagram, you can go check it out on VoiceOver Cop. I posted a photo of Carrie and I in the car, and it was pretty fun. I think in the picture I was ducking underneath the roof, because every time you drove it, my head would hit the top of the roof line. It was really, really annoying. But I loved the car, and I was so disappointed, because I don't fit in it. Akela and no. Kayla and Tiago are discussing whether or not a elevator is considered a motor vehicle. It doesn't meet the requirements of motor vehicle for the purposes of the discussion. No. Technically, it's anything other than muscular power, but it's a stretch. It's a big stretch. Okay, moving on. Why do officers ask about employment when they are law officers? Got pulled over, officer asked. Why do officers? So, are you meaning like I pulled you over and I'm like, so what do you do for a living? Where are you going? I'm having a conversation. I might be looking for odor of an alcoholic beverage on your breath. Yeah. I might be making conversation. I might be trying to figure out where you're coming from at this hour of night. Why are you dressed the way you are? I'm investigating you. Yeah. I don't know why that officer asked you that, but maybe you were wearing something and he wanted to know why there was a giant hacksaw on the passenger seat. Who knows? I don't know. It's a good question, though. Can you be blamed for an accident if the other driver goes out over a double line? So anything's possible, because I'm not there to look at the collision information. But yeah, if I look at a collision and it's determined that the other driver was driving into oncoming traffic and doing something unsafe, it would be very difficult for me to establish a justification to lay charges against the person who had someone else drive into them, right? The clues tend to tell us a lot of information. Is it possible that you were also guilty of other things? Sure. Could you be charged for that? Yeah, but I need more information. Generally blame, no. We don't just blame people for collisions. We actually have evidence and support of independent witness statements and dash camera stuff. And, it's not just someone said, well, he did it. It was his fault, not my fault. I'm perfect. AJ the Awesome, what's going on? We've got AJ the Awesome with a good morning. Homesick, so I get to watch. Well, you know what? That is unfortunate. You go from having your back being sore to now being sick. You're getting mistreated here. What do you have to do to become a police officer in Ontario? Well, the first thing is you have to apply. I mean, there are standards, and you have to meet or exceed them. But let me give you a little tour of a part of our website called the employment section, the careers section. And you can get to that by going to www.tps.ca/careers. And you'll be met with these smiling faces upon going to that website. And once there, you can get all the information you ever wanted to know. I'm actually, just because I'm really curious, civilian roles, I have to press it to see if any job post. Toronto Police Headquarters, IT Risk Management Quality Assurance. See, the last couple of days there's been no jobs, but that's a civilian job. If you're an IT person, go check it out. Actually, let's check it out together. And I'm coming back to your question. I'm looking at the camera like you can see me, but I'm currently blocked. 84,000 to 95,000 and change. And you have up until September 1st to apply. All the details of that job are here. So again, anybody in IT, we're looking for good people. Now, let's get to your question about police constable. Obviously, like I had said earlier, you have the apply now. Definitely, that's an important component. But there's physical academic, mental, things that you must meet, physical things like minimum requirements for vision and whatnot. But it's all listed here. So here is the answer to your question: tps.ca/careers. Let me take that off the screen, and I'm back. Okay. What? Kai wants to know, is yellow Durls Laga? I don't know what you want to know the answer to. Are those driving lights? Like there are acronyms, and then there's just total mysteries. Anybody know what Kai wants, and we'll come back to him. Chase, what's going on, Chase? Just saw Chase, and Chase, I gotta know why the filters on. I don't get the Snapchat. We took a photo together again, and both times, or the two last times we got together, which is Honda Indian at the Community Safety Day. Chase took a picture, and on both times he had the same Snapchat filter where he had a beard and glasses on. I think it was glasses. Am I making that up? Hang on a second. Telegram. Where's Telegram? We have a Telegram group if you want to join. Telegram.trafficcop.ca. And let's see here. Telegram. There we go. The group. Where's the photos? Because he shared it there. I'm sure you shared it there. Or maybe I have it. Do I have it? Maybe I saved it already. Hang on a second. Because it made me laugh. Yeah, here. Here's Chase with his beard, mustache, filter, and a hat. So the glasses are real in that. All right. So the question is, what does the driver training for TPS look like? Do you have to learn high-speed maneuvers or the pit? We don't. We talk about the pit, but we don't train the pit because we don't use the pit. But we do track stuff, high-speed stuff. We talk about. It's about guaranteed arrival more than it is about how to go fast. Because if you look at Wyatt Earp, he goes, it's fast is fine, but accuracy is everything. You got to be able to get to where you're going safely. Otherwise, you don't help anybody. So slow and there's a bit of that slow and steady wins the race concept. We have to be able to go fast, but we have to be able to go safe. So it's an intensive. It's possibly the most fun you can have is doing track work as a police trainee, as a cadet. Stresses out some people though. Tiago's really stuck on this elevator motor vehicle business. Yeah, we're not arresting anybody for pressing the buttons on an elevator, but thank you. Can a tourist drive here in Toronto? If a tourist is licensed in their home country and have a valid license that we accept, then yes, we are absolutely allowed, or they can rent a vehicle, or they can borrow a vehicle. They may need an international driver's permit if their license isn't in English and we aren't able to verify information, and that has to be issued by their home country. They can't get it here. And of course, if they're not a tourist anymore and they become a resident, there's other rules where they have to apply for a local license. So I'm assuming DRLS is still driving lights. We got the L for the legal, but yellow driving lights or yellow fog lights are legal. You can have yellow headlights or white headlights in Ontario. They're both legal. In terms of pacing a vehicle, how close can the police car get to the car it's pacing? Well, we don't want to follow too close or cause you to hit the brakes or be in a situation where we're in danger. But pacing doesn't require us to be close. We could be 10 car lengths away. I just need to be able to match the speed so I can understand that we are maintaining the same speed, and I then can tell from my speedometer how fast you're going. But the proximity to your vehicle isn't required. In terms of a police officer pacing, so what happened was Leo, I guess, took your question and then somebody else went with it, or you popped over from YouTube or from TikTok. In terms of police officer pacing the vehicle on the highway, yeah, you asked the same question. Can they get close enough for the driver not to see their headlights? There's nothing to suggest that, again, proximity. Ryan says, Vision Zero is a feel-good marketing campaign. Wouldn't zero tolerance be more effective at reducing deaths? Zero tolerance for all laws is not necessarily possible. We can't be everywhere all the time. Vision Zero is not just an enforcement campaign. Vision Zero is an engineering initiative to change the way we design roads, to protect vulnerable road users. It's an education campaign to try and win the hearts and minds of people, to get them to wake up and not be part of the problem, because it's these selfish people who are out there doing dangerous things that are putting people at risk more than anything else. Then you have the enforcement side of it, and we have to focus our efforts where we know serious injury and death is caused, which is speeding, aggressive driving, distracted driving, and impaired driving. If we did zero tolerance in all laws, well, that would be ridiculous, because I'd be pulling over every single car, because almost every car is violating something, somewhere, somehow. So zero tolerance doesn't work. But I can appreciate where it's not this is a complex issue. And it's complex because there's so many moving parts. So one of the reasons people choose to break the law, one of the reasons people do what they do and put lives at risk, well, we can't fix everything with the flip of a switch. So we have to try on all fronts at all times and do the best we can, and we'd be doing it. And the more police officers and technology that we have available to us, we'll continue to keep doing it and doing it better every year, or every day, or every minute. We'll just keep making it better till we're perfect, which is never going to happen. We're never going to be perfect. How do you feel about people parked illegally in handicapped spots? Well, I feel very strongly about it. I feel so strongly about it that I absolutely believe that they should be towed and impounded and ticketed. But what actually happens is they get a big fine. And I also have an issue with people who get those permits issued fraudulently. What does it take to get one? Someone goes to the doctor. Some doctors have pens that nearly write themselves. They don't write pens themselves, but they write things themselves. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who ask for things, and there's a lot of reasons why they can get them. And at the end of the day, there's people who need them more than others. And even like I have one. I have an accessible permit, and on good days, when I can walk and talk and chew gum and it all works properly the way it's designed to, I don't need it. And on days that I have difficulty walking, I use it and I appreciate it. And when I can't use it, that's a problem, because that means I'm not going where I was planning to go. And when someone who has a wheelchair and has to have access for a ramp on the side of the van, and they can't, it's just not right. So I'm a big proponent of heavy enforcement in that area, and we have a team that does nothing but those things. Or I should say, they focus on the violators in that area. There's just so many violators. So does it sound like I'm pretty passionate about that? I would happily write those tickets all day long. Okay. I got you. You're very welcome. Are chrome window tints illegal? If the windows left and right of the driver are tinted with a reflective coating, then yes, they're illegal. A windshield, obviously, you can't have any tint. But it specifically discusses windows left and right of the driver. If your rear windows were tinted with a reflective tint, I don't have an issue with it, because you could also be painting it solid, opaque, black, whatever. Yeah. There you go. What is this? This is probably something I don't know the answer to, but interesting section 187.3 of the HTA has an NSF. NSF is not, it means no set fine. For aircraft unlawfully take off, and basically says if it has to emergency land on the highway, it has to remain there until police investigate. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Kai once again asks the same question. DRLS. Yeah, we covered it, but it's funny. Please, 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 please don't spam, especially if you're going to say the same thing without being more specific. Let's see here. If someone was charged with stunt driving, had a court date, but missed it, what would happen? If you don't attend your court date, you're deemed, you're found guilty. That's bad. So if you that's really bad. Because chances are you're going to be found guilty. You'll whatever the court determines. Now, actually, would they do that? Maybe they would actually put it over for another date to have an ex parte trial, which means they would have a trial in your absence. Because it's a serious charge, it could go that way. For a regular ticket, it would just be deemed you're not here, deemed and found guilty. Yours or a stunt driving charge might actually be ex parte, or they could go by way of. Would they do a bench warrant? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing these days, but I have had in the past ex parte trials because it's a serious charge. The courts determine that they're going to go through all the trial. The officer's going to testify and they'll have a determination, but there'll be no defense. So you'll likely be found guilty, and they'll determine what your sentence is. And it's probably not a good look. Can I be impaired operating an unlicensed? What is this? Can I be impaired operating an unlicensed, uninsured vehicle on private property? It's a criminal offense. You can be arrested for it. So no, you cannot be impaired, not legally. And you could be on your riding mower in the back 40 of your farm, and we can still arrest you for impaired operation on that motor vehicle, because according to the Criminal Code of Canada, that's a motor vehicle. So whether it be a Pontiac, what's a good Pontiac? I don't know, a Pontiac. Whether it be a car, a riding mower, a golf cart, if you're impaired on it, it's a motor vehicle, private property or the road, doesn't matter. You are eligible for charges. What's the criteria? What is this? What's the criteria? I got ice on my mouth now. This is really inconvenient. Okay, got rid of the ice. What's the criteria for placing four-way stops as opposed to two-way stops? I have no clue. I don't know. I don't do that. Criteria. I'm not part of the planning stage. I actually don't know. Nor have I ever thought about it. Now I want to know. We should do another City of Toronto podcast episode, because we've been talking about with City of Toronto, but they haven't come back to me with dates. We've had a couple of their folks on in the past, and we're due for another, but we could ask those questions then. All right. Is it legal to make a U-turn on a solid green light where it doesn't say no left turn or no U-turn or anything? U-turns are legal unless prohibited or in specific areas that are not permitted, which would make them prohibited. So if there's no sign, or if there's a sign, obviously 150 meters beyond or on either side of it, you can't do. Or is it beyond? No, it's 150 meters beyond. But the deal is that you cannot do, like if there's no visibility, if it's on a crest of grade, a curve, those are places you can't do it. But generally speaking, if there's no sign prohibiting it, it's not in front of a bridge, corridor, tunnel, railway crossing, then you can. But you're totally responsible for what happens. It is one of the most dangerous things to do. And I've had people argue, it's not dangerous. It's dangerous. It's more dangerous than going straight. Any turning motion puts you at risk. And that's like a double turning motion. You're not making a turn and getting away. You're now making a turn and then clumsily hanging out in the line of fire where a vehicle's coming and could hit you. And you're the one responsible. Okay. If a bus is stopped for service, I had this question recently. If a bus is stopped for service, can we go around and right turn? If you can get around and into the right turn lane safely, then that would not be a problem. If you are making a wide right from the through lane across the path of the bus, that's an improper turn. It's not safe. If they'd closed the lane, it's different than if there's a bus there. Because that bus, one of two things can happen. One, the bus may begin moving and may not see you, and you may cause a collision, and you're the one making the improper turn. So be patient. What's it going to take? 30 seconds? Your life will be much better waiting 30 seconds. Can empty containers be transported inside a vehicle, or do they have to be placed in the trunk? They're empty. Empty containers are not an issue. We're not worried about the dried alcohol remnants in the bottom of the bottle. There's nothing that I'm aware of that would cause an issue there. And but I personally wouldn't have stinky beer bottles in my car. That's just me. AJ the Awesome, glad you were able to be here too. What is this? Out of all the police vehicles I've been in, which is the best? It's on the best. Of all the vehicles, other than in wintertime, the best vehicle was the Harley Davidson Ultra Glide that I rode up until a point where I was hit by a car. But in terms of comfort and what I would like to drive every day as a police vehicle would be an F-150. I think that's the best police ride available. I'm partial. I'm a big guy, and I like vehicles I'm comfortable in. So that would be the number one. Now, it's not realistic because we don't have patrol vehicles in Toronto that are those. We have a Suburban in the office, and that's okay, but I don't like it. It's big, and for size and fit, it's good. but this is an older vehicle. The Ford Explorers are great, but truth be told, I really like the Crown Vic. I do. I wish we had Crown Vics. I'd still take the F-150 over it, though. Do traffic laws apply to parking lots and private property in Ontario? Yes and no. Depends. Like stunt driving is applicable on private property, but driving with a license isn't applicable. Like I can't charge you for not having a license when you're driving on private property. You don't have to stop at stop signs, although it's incredibly important that you do, because you're still responsible for the collision that you get into when you run a stop sign on private property. So can we charge you for not stopping at the stop sign? No. Now, if you're doing it in a dangerous way, high speed, running stop signs, could it be dangerous criminal? Sure. Could it be stunt if you're drifting through stop signs? Yeah. There's certain laws that apply. Okay. A couple of things. This weekend, and we're not leaving, Jess, don't get worried. But this weekend, I'm going to be in Toronto working because it is the Ford Driving Skills for Life program for Saturday and Sunday. Now, sadly, it's entirely full, but I will be at the Toronto Congress Center with some amazing people who are giving some instruction, and some amazing people who signed up to get instruction. So I'll be there all weekend. So look, you'll be seeing my face this weekend. I'll be streaming as much as possible. It might be more on TikTok than anywhere else, but I'll do my best. I'll be sharing content everywhere, of course. And what else? Oh, Neha, you're still waitlisted. I'm sorry to hear that. But you know what? Reach out to me because there was a suggestion. I mentioned you to the folks at Ford, actually. Go to trafficcop.ca. Send me a message, and I can message you back. But Neha's in a law enforcement program, and they suggested that you may be able to come and observe. Just saying. Where was I? So yeah, I'll be working all weekend. So I'll be chatting and doing ask a traffic cops kind of stuff. Yeah. Are you going to be? What is this? Are you going to be the police convention? What police convention? Is there? No one invited me to the police convention. Is there a police convention? Let me know. Someone says Barbie or Oppenheimer. I've not seen either. Please explain the rules for roundabout signals needed at any time. Not on the entrance, but yes, on the exit. And if there were multiple lanes, I imagine, between the lanes, because you're responsible for notifying all other vehicles on the road of your intention to change direction, because it might affect another driver. How to drive safely if someone is behind you with blinding bright lights in the rear view. There's a little switch on your rear view mirror. It allows you to dim it, changes the angle so it's not blinding. That would be how to respond to that. Can you be impaired on a bicycle or in a wheelchair? So bicycle in Ontario, if it's a manual actual bicycle, not an e-bike, not an electric bicycle, then no. In a wheelchair, powered or manual, no. But e-bike, yes. Electric skateboard, yes. E-kick scooter, yes. Electric mobility device, or gas for that matter, yes, you can be charged. So the only exemptions are when you're a pedestrian or a cyclist. Now, a bicycle, if you're truly impaired, you're going to get hurt. In public intoxication is against the law. A wheelchair person can't be charged for an impaired operation, but they could be public drunkenness. They're considered a pedestrian in a powered wheelchair. So if someone's a danger to themselves, they're so drunk, public intox is a thing. Is there a penalty if I renew my driver's license after it expires? I don't think there is, but you're not valid until you renew it, right? Like you are not licensed until you renew your license. So you can't drive until you renew it. Can I put an exhaust on my car if it's not too loud? Well, you have to have an exhaust. Otherwise, it's illegal. Do you mean, can you modify your exhaust from your stock one to another one? The not too loud thing is very subjective. You might think it's not too loud. Somebody else might think it is too loud, and you might get a ticket for improper exhaust. Okay, so we have a dad joke from Big Jeff Fresh. I'll come back to that in a second. We like to end all the shows with dad jokes, but we don't always have time because I talk too much. Talk about other stuff. Actually, I'm answering questions. It's legit stuff. Okay. Okay, Okay, question is, when you read license plates, do you see the driver's license or just if the plate is paid? No, we see who the registered owner is, and we can then begin investigating from there. That's just a starting point. We ultimately see the vehicle information, registration information, the registered owner information, yeah, and then we goes from there. Daytime running lights. That's what I thought. Daytime running lights. Okay. Are you allowed to have a clip on your seatbelt so it does not rub your neck? Many of them have adjustable runners. That's a good way to go. But I don't know of any reason why you couldn't have a clip there. They're available. I mean, even baby or car seats, child car seats have clips to arrange where that cross strap goes, so it's more comfortable or safe. And yeah, we figured out the whole daytime running lights. Good. Liz has the question: do police cars change between winter and summer tires or all seasons? Depends on the police service. A lot of them run all seasons, and we talk about how many vehicles they have. It may not be feasible for all to do that, so some do, some don't. What is this? My driver's license will expire on the 23rd of this month. I've GZ. Can I wait until September 1st to renew? Why? Why would you wait? You're not licensed after the 23rd if it expires. You cannot drive until you renew it. So why would you wait? I don't get it. Have you ever encountered a sovereign citizen? I've had many conversations with sovereign citizens when I was a court officer back in the day. Not so many roadside. Many of my colleagues have had to arrest them. Because the sovereign citizen thing is a great fantasy, but it doesn't exist in reality. I mean, the people who say they are people who say they are, but there's people who believe that we should be wearing tinfoil hats. It's the same sort of thing. How to drive safely when someone's behind you. We covered that one. Can special constables pull you over if they see you doing something illegal, speeding, texting? They don't do traffic enforcement that I'm aware of. And we've had this conversation before. It is possible with the direction of a police officer that could do things. I don't believe they do any enforcement. Unless things have changed or they've expanded their authorities, I don't think they have that authority, which is something I'd like to verify, but I don't think it's the case. What is this? Oh, AJ the Awesome says, all jokes and questions aside, I wanted to thank you for your service, Sean. You represent everything great about the police community. Keep up the great work, and I hope everything continues to go well. Thank you very much, AJ. I appreciate it. That is an awesome comment from AJ the Awesome. Thank you very much. If the doctor okayed you right now, would you go back to traffic? I am at traffic. This is traffic services. I've never left traffic. That's not true. I went 6 months down to work at headquarters for a period of time a couple years ago. I would absolutely stay in traffic. Traffic is something I'm very passionate about. That's the reason I do what I do every day here. So I would absolutely stay in traffic. I would never want to work anywhere else. I don't think. I love what I do. Someone's calling me, and it's probably someone who wants to sell me duct cleaning, or tells me that I'm a package or an Amazon charge. Do you get a lot of scam calls? I get a lot of scam calls. And my work, like all my numbers, I get scam calls everywhere. That's something I wish there was an invention that we could press a button and appropriately zap the person who's a scammer. Like there should be like some kind of electrical thing, or I don't know. Maybe that's not legal. I don't know. Question is, could I install UV tint on a windshield if it does not affect light transmission? Yes. The laws about tint is applying a color, whether it be gray, blue, green. You can't apply a color film or reflective film. If it's just UV tint, it's not tint, it's UV film. Boy, that's a lot of saying the same thing 5 times. But the deal is that most, if not all, windshields have UV filter components to it already. So you probably don't need to do it again. So there you go. Akil is going to bug Roger about a City of Toronto show. I still don't have the date for the ITS show. Cool. I think someone sent me an email about that. I don't know if I think it was one subsequent to your message, but let's see here. Impaired driving, not visibly impaired. How would you have a reason to come onto private property? If I saw you with a beer in your hand, let me use that as an example, that would be enough reason. If I got a call from your neighbor who said, he's at it again. He's drinking and he's driving his mower. That would be a reason. If we got a 911 call, yeah. Uh, it's amazing how these things come together. At my local Shoppers Drug Mart, I often see cars with no permit that are parked sideways across 2 accessible parking spaces. Can drivers get 2 tickets for blocking 2 spaces? I don't think they can get charged twice. I wish they could. I wish they could. Is there a ticket quota every month? No, there's no ticket quota any month or year or at all. There are officers who write no tickets. They have yet to be fired. Now, at Traffic Services, are we expected to write tickets? Well, if we're not doing something else, what are we doing? We're either going to be investigating collisions, writing tickets, and or maybe we're on special projects and we're doing it. I don't write any tickets. I haven't been on the road in a number of years. No one's ever said to me, Sean, you should write more tickets. I think it would be funny if they did. Actually, I'd actually like to write more tickets. One of the number one things I miss about the road, aside from just having that, the wind in my, my locks of flowing hair, is to go and change driver behavior, to have a direct impact to road safety. And that's why I enjoy doing this so much, being on social media and talking to all of you, because I get to help make the road safer in a different way. So that's the thing. Radek says to have a great weekend. You too, Radek. Thank you very much. Kiana wants to know, what does the physical test portion of becoming a police officer look like? That's a very, do you mean like the entrance exam, the initial prep test? Or do you mean like the ongoing forever, training, being fit? Or do you mean like the police college to graduate? I'm assuming you're talking about the runs. There's a 20-meter beep test. That's where you, I think it's considered an NO2 max test. But essentially, you run 20 meters and you have to cross one of the 2 lines at the end before it beeps again. And every 4 lengths of the circuit, the beeps get closer together. I can't remember I looked it up once. I think it's like a half kilometer faster every 4 lengths. By the end of it, you're going real fast, and I hate it. I hate it. That's the one thing I hated the most in my life when it comes to exercises. I'm not a runner. Never was a runner. I'm a big guy. There are people that run like the wind. I'm not one of them. I run like a rock, and that's only fast when going downhill. But the deal is that the prep test, the pursuit restraint circuit, is that what it's called? Where you jump over a half wall, go up and down the stairs, do a simulated push-pull test, a grip test where you have to simulate handcuffing. Those I found very, very easy. And if you go online and search the prep test, I think you'll find some good examples. Go to the Toronto Police website. www.tps.ca/careers. I am sure there's going to be a link. And if not, there's going to be someone who can point you in the direction of one. There are also clinics for women to get some special training, because women are at a slight disadvantage very often when it comes to these tests, and it's technique, because I can just brute through it. But there are techniques, and the employment officers generally hold clinics for women to teach them the techniques so they can get through those tests. Because if you know you can do it, then you do it. Can you cross a border with a G2? Yes, you can. Do traffic laws vary province to province? Yes, they do. Is a stop sign implied at the exit of a cul-de-sac, or just a yield? Well, you have to. I've never seen one that doesn't have a stop sign. Why wouldn't there be a stop sign at the end of a cul-de-sac? I don't know. Generally speaking, you have to stop before a crosswalk. I'm trying to figure out where there would be no stop sign erected. Where is that? I mean, I want to know. I want to look at it. Is it legal for motorcycles to drive between lanes? No, that's either going to be careless driving, careless stunt, or dangerous. It's all nothing is legal. No, that's not legal at all. And it's unsafe. It's legal in the States, in some states, I should say, because like Los Angeles or California, they allow it. But they also have very strict suggestions, because they acknowledge it being really unsafe. So they say if you do it like no more than 10 miles per hour speed differential, and that's a big difference. Careless is going through. Stunt is going through quickly. Dangerous is going through quickly while weaving through traffic. And dangerous is a criminal offense. So all of them are serious. Don't do any of them. is this? What's the fine for turning right on red traffic light or on a red traffic light if there's a sign that prohibits it? If there are many, many, many no right turn on red signs in Toronto and in New York region and the GTA in general, I'm sure in the entire province. And it's for disobey sign, $110 and 3 demerit points, I believe. Okay, another dad joke, I'll flag that. Oh, so, okay. Kiana says, I recently renewed my license, but when I got the new card, my photo was way too bright. You can barely see me. Can I get a new picture taken? If I think that would be a very valid reason to get it retaken at no charge. Generally speaking, they only take a new photo every 4 years? No, 5. It's every other. So I guess it's good for 5 years. So every 10 years to take a new photo. And you can pay to have a photo taken again. But if you cannot see you, someone did something wrong, and it's either a defective printing process or a poorly taken photo. And I think you'd be absolutely justified to get a new one at no cost. And yeah, that's what I would do. They may not like what I just said, but too bad. I actually can't dictate what they do, but I think it's reasonable. And if someone says no, I'd escalate that. Because yeah, kind of the whole point of having a photo. All right. My Leo wife here says it's 11 a.m. So I know it's 6 minutes late. It took me 6 minutes to, everything hurts, to catch up. Not mustard. Is that a dad joke? Maybe it's time for dad jokes. I'm going to scroll through because there are a bunch of questions that came in afterwards. I see. Okay. Michael says, okay, this is banter as opposed to, what if the sign is faded or can't be read? If it's an octagonal sign, faded or not, it's a stop sign, right? Should it be replaced by the city or service? Yeah, but could you justify running a stop sign that was faded? No. What is the fine for riding an e-bike without a helmet? I think it's $65. I think. I'm not going to look it up, but I think it's $65. And at the end of the day, it is an offense. Akela has the answer about cul-de-sacs. If the cul-de-sac has no sign, it is by default a yield. And thank you, Akela. I've just never seen that. So I appreciate the answer. Akela says, stay safe. And remember, don't have a good weekend. Have a great weekend. And with that, I will share that sentiment with everybody. Of course, if you're around and you want to, say hello online or in person, I'll be where I said I was going to be. I'm going to be at the where did I say I was? Toronto Congress Center. I'm going to be there with the 4 Driving Skills for Life. You can't participate if you haven't registered, but if you happen to be in the area and you want to say hello, I'll be around. What else? I'll be online. I'm going to do some broadcasting. So I'll try and give some heads up, but ultimately when I start the live stream, if you're following us, you will see me. We have here, damn, you sound like National Geography or some heavy dope voice, my G. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Apparently I should be on radio or something, but yeah, I'm a cop instead. So with that, we'll bid you adieu. And is that even? Yeah, we'll say goodbye. Is it bid you adieu? With no further ado, I got to go look at a dictionary. All right. Traffic song to send you away. Oh no, I almost forgot the dad jokes. I wouldn't make you listen to the music before the dad jokes. All right, dad joke 1. Where do bad rainbows go? Where do bad rainbows go? To Prism. It's a light sentence. It gives them time to reflect. Oh my God, that's actually amazing. Dad joke number 2 comes in from Zombie. What do you get when 2 giraffes get into a collision? A giraffic jam. I like that too. What do we have here? August 18th, Friday, this day on my calendar. Why do magicians do so well in school? They're good at trick questions. That's actually a good one too. Okay, we have, do I do the weekend ones now? Yeah, I will. We have here, why did the octopus blush? Why did the octopus blush? It just saw the bottom of the ocean. That one wasn't good. A hyperbole is without a doubt the single most magnificent thing that has ever happened in the world ever. hyperbole is without a doubt the single most magnificent. I give it points. It's not funny, but I get it. I think I'll leave this stack of dad jokes until Sergeant Campbell returns because he put them there, and I don't want to mess with his flow. All right, now I'll play the rest of the song, and I really do hope you have a wonderful weekend, and hope to see you or talk to you soon. Take care.
Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow. Watch for pedestrians, look out for bikes, and don't drive like a jerk that no one likes. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Put down your cell phone, nobody needs you to text and drive on the DVP. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Stop at stop signs, look both ways, then go. Seatbelt, save your life indeed. And watch your driving, don't speed. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely is the way to go. Don't drink and drive or smoke some weed, because you might go to jail and not get free. Yellow light, red light, green light, go. Driving safely helps the traffic flow.
Neha messaged me. Cheryl, thanks for following the host. That's me. And I was going to say something. What was it? I was going to say. I lost my train of thought. Oh, it bugs me. Oh, Crystal says we need to help him with better jokes. Hey, I'm not making these up. I'm just reading them. I for the life of me, I can't remember what I was going to say, but it was going to be magical. And when it comes to me, I'm just finishing the editing of a post. It's going to go up very shortly, so be on the lookout for that on all platforms. It is a Jackrabbit start video that I had on my dash cam. Would love your opinion on it once you see it. So with that, I say goodbye. Take care. Auf Wiedersehen. I can't find the button. Where's the button?